In Russia, as the country has now made a massive announcement. President Vladimir Putin has claimed that the first COVID-19 vaccine is ready for use. If this claim turns out to be true, Russia could be declared the pioneer in the coronavirus vaccine race, as it would become the first country in the world to register the highly anticipated vaccine against the coronavirus. And this announcement comes after less than 2 months of human testing. Russia is hailing this as evidence of its scientific prowess.
Насколько мне известно, сегодня утром впервые в мире зарегистрирована вакцина против новой коронавирусной инфекции. Я в этой связи хочу попросить министра здравоохранения Мурашко Михаила Альбертовича проинформировать нас поподробнее, хотя знаю, что она работает достаточно эффективно, формирует иммунитет устойчивый и, повторяю, прошла все необходимые проверки.
The vaccine has been developed by Moscow's Gamaleya Institute, and Putin has said that the health ministry has given its regulatory approval to bolster people's faith in this potential world-changing development. Putin has said that his daughter is among those inoculated.
И она работает более точно, формирует стойкий антительный и клеточный иммунитет. Я это тоже хорошо очень знаю, поскольку одна из моих дочерей сделала себе такую прививку. Думаю, что в этом смысле она поучаствовала в эксперименте. После первого укола, после первой прививки температура была у нее 38, на следующий день 37 с небольшим, и все. После второго укола, второй прививки тоже температура немного поднялась, ну и все, сошло потом на нет. Чувствует себя хорошо, и титры высокие.
Russia says that industrial production of the vaccine will start in September. Mass vaccination is expected in October. Gamaleya's vaccine is a so-called viral vector vaccine, which means that it uses another virus to carry the DNA, encoding the necessary immune response into the cells. The Russians have cheekily dubbed the vaccine Sputnik in October 1957 with a single shot. The then Soviet Union not only launched the first artificial satellite, but also officially inaugurated a space race with the US. The satellite Sputnik's launch had come as a surprise and not a pleasant one to the Americans, as it marked Russia's victory. With the Sputnik vaccine, it appears that Russia once again wants to etch its name in history books as the winner of the vaccine race. The World Health Organization last week urged Russia to follow established guidelines and go through all the stages necessary to develop a safe vaccine. According to reports, WHO spokesman has said that the WHO is in close contact with Russian health authorities, and discussions are currently underway regarding the possible WHO pre-qualification of the vaccine. But he also added that pre-qualification of any vaccine includes the rigorous review and assessment of all data. The head of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, which finances the vaccine project, said phase 3 trials would start on Wednesday. Industrial production was expected from September, and that 20 countries had pre-ordered more than 1 billion doses. The speed at which Russia is moving to roll out its vaccine highlights its determination to win the global race for an effective product. But at the same time, it has also raised concerns about the safety and efficacy of this vaccine. Let's quickly get in a sense of perspective on these latest developments, and for that I'm joined in by Professor Amos Panett, who is a virologist at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. A very warm welcome to you, Professor. We meet again. Let me begin by asking you, how significant is today's announcement by Russia, and how does the Russian vaccine compare with other vaccine candidates like Moderna and Oxford AstraZeneca?
Yeah. Well, we know very little as scientists and doctors. We don't have much details about a vaccine. They choose to announce it by politicians rather than by scientists for some reason. From what we know, the vaccine is quite similar to the vaccine which Oxford has been developing. Namely, it is based on a viral vector, which is an adenovirus, which usually causes cold, and the virus was mutated, and into this adenovirus, a gene of the coronavirus was inserted, a gene which is outside the
Right.
coronavirus usually will be made now by the adenovirus.
Right.
So what we know now is that they have a vaccine similar to the Oxford vaccine. Oxford is now in phase 3 of clinical trials, which is a critical phase of clinical trial.
It's interesting, Professor, that you have compared this vaccine with Oxford, calling it similar to the Oxford one. But also, Professor, the head of the Russian clinical trial group, ACTO, has written a letter to the health ministry asking for postponement of the vaccine registration, stating that it has only been tested on less than 100 than on thousands, which it ideally should be. What do you make of the Russian vaccine trials so far?
Well, we know very little about it, but certainly they have not injected it into thousands of people as required for approval of a vaccine. They rush to announce that they are first. This is not like the Sputnik. We are not rushing to send a missile to the moon. This is very sensitive matter. It's a matter of safety. We first have to prove safety and then the efficacy, then the effectiveness of the vaccine. But we don't want to make harm later on to thousands and thousands of people who will be injected by an ineffective vaccine and dangerous vaccine. So maybe they have a fantastic vaccine. I don't say that they don't have a fantastic vaccine.
Absolutely. But the testing is very crucial, as you rightly mentioned. Also, Professor, ACTO head has also questioned the vaccination of pensioners who are at greater risk due to weakened immunity. Should Russia be going ahead with vaccinations on the elderly just yet?
No, because usually you go with a vaccine and you test it on young people, like it has been done in England and the United States, and even in India, I believe.
Right.
But you don't go and inject old people with all kind of problems, which are related to the disease, and you don't inject them with an experimental vaccine.
Right. Professor, last but not the least, several reports have indicated that COVID-19 is the pandemic, with 160 potential vaccines being studied, the largest number of vaccine candidates. Why are there so many candidates in this race, and why is it important to have so many vaccine candidates against COVID-19?
Well, we have 160 companies developing vaccines, but in fact there are about 2 different approaches to develop the vaccine, not 160 different approaches to develop the vaccine. So there are limited number of approaches for the development, and most companies are doing the same type of research. And it's good because there are small changes between one company to the next, and one company will have a better facility to produce the vaccine later. One company may be the first to develop it, but they would not have a facility to make it in the millions. So there will be a lot of repetition, but it's good because we are during emergency situation.
Absolutely, Professor. We'll have to wait and watch which vaccine candidate actually makes it to the finishing line and comes up with an effective one, rather. Thank you so much, Professor. It's been a pleasure speaking to you yet again.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And with that, we shift our attention over to Pakistan.